The massive starship glided through the dark expanse of space, its metallic hull reflecting distant starlight. Captain J. Park stood on the bridge, his hands clasped behind his back, watching the holographic displays that mapped their current trajectory through the unknown regions of Andromeda. Hannah Kim, the ship's science officer, adjusted her scanning equipment. Her fingers moved quickly across the digital interface, processing layers of astronomical data. Suddenly, a strange energy signature flickered on her screen. "Captain," she called out, her voice steady, but with a hint of curiosity. "We're detecting an unusual transmission." Jay walked over, his dark eyes scanning the readout. The signal was unlike anything they had encountered in previous missions. It was deliberate, structured, but completely alien in its composition. Within moments, a holographic projection materialized on the bridge. A tall, slender being with iridescent skin and multiple joint-like appendages appeared. This was Cairo. Phelan, a diplomatic representative from something called the Galactic Confederation. "Human vessel," the alien spoke, its translator producing a slightly mechanical sound. "You have entered restricted spatial coordinates." Jay remained calm. He had been trained for first contact scenarios, understanding that every gesture, every word could potentially alter interstellar relationships. "We are on a peaceful exploration mission," Jay responded, his tone neutral and professional. "Our navigation systems did not indicate any spatial restrictions in this sector." Cairo Valen's appendages moved in what seemed like a mixture of confusion and mild agitation. The alien's eyes, multiple and slightly reflective, studied the human, Captain with an intensity that suggested both curiosity and underlying tension. "Your vessel appears technologically primitive," Cairo stated, more as an observation than an insult. Hannah suppressed a small smile. If only the alien knew the true capabilities hidden beneath their seemingly simple exterior. The communication continued, with Kiro attempting to understand the human's purpose. Each question from the alien revealed more about their own technological assumptions and limitations. Jay noticed how the alien diplomat seemed to be probing, trying to categorize humans into some predetermined galactic hierarchy. But humans were not easily categorized. Aboard the ship, the crew remained alert but relaxed. Years of space exploration had taught them that first encounters were a delicate dance of information, perception, and potential misunderstanding. Hannah continued monitoring the ship's systems, her fingers dancing across multiple interfaces. She was collecting data, not just about the transmission, but about the very nature of the communication itself. The aliens' transmission carried an underlying tone of condescension. They seemed to believe humans were a newly discovered species, perhaps technologically infantile and ready to be guided by more advanced civilizations. What Kiro Valen didn't understand was that humans had a remarkable ability to adapt, to learn, and to transform technological understanding at an unprecedented rate. "We mean no intrusion," Jay repeated, his words carefully chosen. "We are explorers, seeking knowledge and understanding." The alien's response was a complex series of movements that the translation matrix struggled to interpret. But the underlying message was clear. The Galactic Confederation saw humans as something to be studied, potentially controlled. Little did they know that human potential was far beyond their current comprehension. As the transmission continued, subtle exchanges of information began to paint a complex picture. The aliens' technological assumptions were based on outdated perceptions, while human adaptability remained their most potent weapon. Jay watched the holographic projection, his expression revealing nothing. Behind that calm exterior was a deep understanding of interstellar dynamics, diplomatic nuance, and the complex games of technological posturing. Hannah caught the captain's eye, a momentary shared glance that spoke volumes. They both understood that this encounter was more than just a simple first contact. It was the beginning of something much larger. The starship continued its journey, the alien transmission hanging in the digital space between two potentially very different civilizations, neither fully understanding the other, but both driven by a fundamental desire to explore, to understand, and to expand their knowledge of the universe. And so the stage was set for an encounter that would potentially reshape galactic understanding forever. Remy Orlov hunched over the data screens, multiple eyes blinking rapidly as he processed the intercepted human military simulations. His tentacle-like fingers trembled slightly, a clear sign of growing anxiety. The simulation showed a conflict scenario that defied everything the Galactic Confederation understood about warfare. It wasn't just a battle strategy, it was a near-perfect mathematical equation of destruction and precision. In a small research station tucked away in a distant star system, teams of alien analysts gathered around holographic displays. They watched, they studied, and they began to understand something terrifying. Humans were not just another species to be categorized. Hannah Kim worked quietly in the human ship's advanced research laboratory. Her fingers moved across quantum interfaces that looked deceptively simple. To an untrained eye, it might seem like standard scientific equipment, but each device contained layers of complexity that would take alien civilizations decades to comprehend. Single prototype device on her workstation could destabilize entire planetary energy systems, not through brute force, but through an elegant manipulation of fundamental physical principles. The intercepted data revealed more than just military potential. It showed a species that approached problem-solving with a unique blend of creativity and cold logical precision. Each simulation wasn't just about winning, it was about winning with minimal resource expenditure and maximum psychological impact. Remy's team began comparing human technological progression against other known galactic civilizations. The rate of human advancement was not just fast, it was exponential. Where other species took centuries to develop basic quantum communication, humans seemed to leap technological boundaries in mere decades. One particular simulation caught Remy's attention. It demonstrated how humans could potentially neutralize an entire fleet of advanced alien ships using nothing more than repurposed communication frequencies and sophisticated AI algorithms. The most terrifying aspect wasn't the technological capability. It was the restraint. Humans didn't develop these technologies to conquer. They developed them out of pure curiosity, out of an inherent drive to understand and solve complex problems. Back on the starship, Jay Park reviewed the same simulation data. His expression remained calm, almost disinterested, but those who knew him understood that this calm was a carefully constructed facade. Hannah approached him with a new set of calculations. "The quantum stabilization matrix is showing interesting potential," she said, her voice neutral. What she didn't mention was that this matrix could, if weaponized, potentially disassemble entire planetary crusts with minimal energy expenditure. The Galactic Confederation's intelligence reports began to circulate. Panic started to spread among various alien leadership circles. They were beginning to realize that humans were not just another species to be managed or controlled. Remy compiled his report, his multiple appendages moving with a mix of fear and grudging respect. The conclusion was clear. Direct confrontation with humans would be collective suicide for any civilization. The human approach to technology was unlike anything in galactic records. They didn't just innovate, they reimagined entire systems of understanding. A communication device could become a weapon. A scientific instrument could potentially reshape planetary structures. One particular archived human document caught Remy's attention. It was a simple research paper from early 21st century about something called nanotechnology. The concepts proposed were so advanced that most alien civilizations would consider them pure science fiction. Humans had a unique ability to turn scientific speculation into practical reality with shocking speed. The research station grew quiet as the implications sank in. The aliens were no longer looking at humans as a potential threat. They were looking at them as a force of technological nature, unpredictable, adaptable, and fundamentally different from any known galactic civilization. Jay and Hannah continued their journey, completely unaware of the profound impact their mere existence was having on galactic political dynamics. To them, this was just another day of exploration, another opportunity to learn and understand. Little did they know that their simple research mission was reshaping entire galactic perceptions of technological potential. The conference room aboard the starship fell silent as Captain Jay Park began to share carefully selected historical, Records with the alien delegation. Kiro Valen and his team watched, their multiple eyes fixed on the holographic displays that began to unfold human history. The first images showed Earth's earliest conflicts. World wars that had transformed human technology in ways no other species could comprehend. Remy Orloff, the alien intelligence analyst, felt a chill run through his multiple appendages as he watched the progression. In just a few decades, humans had gone from simple mechanical weapons to nuclear technology. The leap was not just technological. It was a testament to human adaptability and rapid learning. The space race images came next, primitive rockets giving way to advanced space exploration in mere years. Humans had gone from first powered flight to landing on their moon in just 66 years, a blink of an eye in cosmic time. Hannah Kim stood quietly beside the captain, her expression neutral, but her eyes reflecting a deep understanding of the narrative being presented. She knew these historical moments were more than just records. They were a carefully crafted message about human potential. The Cold War segment particularly fascinated the alien observers. They watched how two human political systems had driven unprecedented technological innovation. Computers that could fill entire rooms were transformed into devices smaller than an alien's appendage within decades. Remy noticed something unique in these historical recordings. Unlike other species that developed technology through gradual, controlled progression, humans seemed to innovate through competition, conflict, and an insatiable curiosity. Military technologies transformed into civilian applications with shocking speed. Satellite communication, internet technology, advanced medical procedures, all born from systems initially designed for conflict. The most surprising element was human resilience. Each major conflict or challenge had not broken their spirit, but accelerated their technological and social development. Where other species might have collapsed, humans adapted and grew stronger. Kiro Valen's translator struggled to process the complex layers of human historical progression. The alien diplomat realized they were not just looking at a species' history, but witnessing a fundamental approach to existence that defied standard galactic understanding. Images of human scientific breakthroughs played out. The development of quantum computing, genetic research, artificial intelligence, each breakthrough came faster than the previous one. The rate of acceleration was mathematically impossible by most known galactic standards. Captain J explained, "Nothing. He simply let the historical records speak for themselves. Each image, each recorded moment was a subtle demonstration of human potential. The alien delegation watched how humans had transformed from a species barely capable of basic industrial technology to potential galactic explorers in just a few centuries. Their progression was not linear, it was exponential. Technological leaps that would take other species millennia happened for humans in decades. Space exploration, computer technology, medical advancements, each field showed the same pattern. Of rapid, almost explosive growth. Hannah noticed the growing unease among the alien observers. They were beginning to understand that humans were not just another species to be categorized or controlled. They were a force of technological and adaptive potential that defied conventional understanding. The most chilling aspect for the aliens was not the technology itself. It was the underlying human characteristic that drove these advancements, an unquenchable desire to understand, to explore, to push beyond existing limitations. Remy's multiple eyes tracked the progression of human technological development. Each moment revealed layers of complexity that suggested humans were not just adapting to their environment, they were actively reshaping it. As the historical presentation concluded, an uncomfortable silence filled the conference room. The alien delegation had come expecting to see a primitive species. Instead, they witnessed a civilization capable of transforming challenges into unprecedented opportunities. Captain J's calm demeanor spoke volumes. These were not just historical records, they were a subtle warning. Humans were far more than they appeared to be. The universe watched, and for the first time, the Galactic Confederation truly understood the potential of human civilization. The massive conference chamber trembled with unspoken tension. Galactic Confederation leaders gathered, their multiple appendages moving nervously as they discussed the human situation. Remy Orloff presented the latest intelligence reports. His multiple eyes flickered across holographic displays showing human, technological capabilities. The room grew increasingly quiet with each passing moment. Captain J. Park stood at the center of the alien diplomatic meeting, looking calm and almost disinterested. His presence alone seemed to create a psychological pressure that no alien could fully comprehend. Beside him, Hana Kim held a small prototype device. It looked simple, almost primitive by alien technological standards. But the aliens knew better. Now, with humans, nothing was ever as it seemed. The demonstration was subtle. Jay didn't need to show aggression. He simply explained how the device could potentially disrupt entire communication networks across multiple star systems. No threats. No dramatic gestures, just pure clinical information. The alien diplomats shifted uncomfortably. Their advanced sensory organs detected something beyond the physical presentation, a psychological weight that pressed against their collective consciousness. Cairo Valen, the lead diplomatic representative, felt sweat-like moisture forming on his iridescent skin. The humans were playing a game far more complex than direct confrontation. Jay explained technological capabilities with mathematical precision. Each sentence was carefully constructed, revealing just enough to make the aliens understand their potential vulnerability without showing direct aggression. The prototype device in Hana's hand could theoretically neutralize entire fleet communication systems within seconds, but she held it like someone might hold a simple writing instrument, casual, almost boring. Psychological warfare was not about weapons, it was about perception, and humans had mastered this art to perfection. The alien leadership understood suddenly that humans were not seeking conflict. They were demonstrating that conflict would be pointless. Every potential aggressive scenario had been already calculated, analyzed, and neutralized before it could even begin. Remy's research team had discovered something even more terrifying. Humans didn't develop these technologies to dominate. They developed them out of pure scientific curiosity. Domination was almost an afterthought. One alien diplomat whispered to another, "They could conquer us without even trying, and they know it." Jay's presentation continued. No emotional fluctuations, no dramatic gestures, just pure, clinical information. That suggested multiple layers of potential technological intervention. The psychological pressure was immense. The aliens were not facing a traditional threat. They were facing a civilization that could potentially reshape entire galactic structures through pure intellectual capability. Hana's subtle movements, Jay's calm demeanor, the simple prototype device. Everything worked together to create a message more powerful than any weapon. Conflict was mathematically illogical. The Galactic Confederation leadership realized they were not dealing with a species that wanted to fight. They were dealing with a species that could make fighting irrelevant. One by one, alien diplomats began to understand. Humans weren't interested in conquering, they were interested in understanding, and in that understanding lay a power more significant than any military might. The meeting concluded not with agreements or treaties, but with a profound sense of collective realization. The humans had demonstrated their potential without firing a single shot, without making a single direct threat. Cairo Valen watched Captain J. Park leave the conference chamber. The alien diplomat understood now why humans were different. They didn't need to prove their strength. Their very existence was a statement of potential. As the human delegation departed, an unspoken message lingered in the conference chamber. We could destroy you, but we choose not to. And that choice is our real power. The universe watched, and the Galactic Confederation understood that they had encountered a civilization unlike any other, calm, precise, and fundamentally uninterested in traditional concepts of conflict. The starship drifted silently through the vast cosmic landscape, a symbol of humanity's newfound galactic presence. Captain J. Park stood on the bridge, watching the holographic displays that mapped their complex diplomatic journey. Cairo Valen arrived on their communication channel, his previous nervous demeanor replaced with a mixture of respect and cautious curiosity. The Galactic Confederation had transformed its approach to humans over the past months. "We propose a collaborative research initiative," Kiro stated, his translator rendering the words with surprising smoothness. Hana Kim reviewed the proposed documentation. What once might have been a confrontational interaction had become an opportunity for mutual understanding. The aliens had realized something profound about human civilization. They were more interested in knowledge than conquest. The research proposal covered multiple scientific domains: quantum communication, advanced energy, systems, biological adaptation technologies. Each section revealed the aliens' growing understanding of human potential. Remy Orlov, who had initially analyzed human technological capabilities with fear, now led the collaborative research team. His multiple eyes scanned the joint research protocols, finding elegant solutions that bridged different technological approaches. Humanity's approach was unique. Where other civilizations might have demanded immediate technological exchanges, humans proposed gradual, mutual learning. They understood that true progress came from understanding, not forced acquisition. The starship's communication systems hummed with new possibilities. Scientific teams from different planetary systems began sharing research, breaking down centuries of isolated technological development. Captain J noticed how the diplomatic landscape had transformed. The initial fear had given way to a genuine curiosity about mutual capabilities. Humans had demonstrated their potential not through aggression but through calculated restraint. Cairo explained the Confederation's new perspective. They had realized that humans could conquer entire star systems almost as an afterthought. But humans chose collaboration over domination. The research initiatives covered everything from advanced medical technologies to quantum communication systems. Each project represented a bridge between different technological understandings. Hana worked closely with alien research teams, her approach both scientific and diplomatic. She understood that technology was more than just functional. Systems, it was a language of potential and possibility. The galactic community watched this interaction with growing fascination. Humans were rewriting the rules of interstellar diplomacy. They were showing that technological superiority didn't require conquest. It could mean mutual growth. Remy's research teams discovered something remarkable. Human scientists were genuinely interested in alien technological perspectives. Every interaction was an opportunity to learn, to understand, to expand collective knowledge. The diplomatic resolution wasn't just a treaty, it was a fundamental restructuring of how different civilizations could interact. Humans showed that strength wasn't about domination, but about the capacity to understand and collaborate. Alien leadership conferences discussed this new approach with a mixture of relief and admiration. They had encountered a civilization that could destroy them, but chose instead to extend a hand of collaborative research. Captain J understood the deeper message. Humanity's journey wasn't about proving superiority. It was about expanding the boundaries of collective understanding. The starship continued its journey, carrying with it the potential for a new kind of galactic interaction, not based on fear or potential conflict, but on genuine curiosity and mutual respect. Kiro Valen watched the human ship's trajectory, understanding now why humans were different. They saw the universe not as a battlefield, but as a massive, complex system waiting to be understood. Scientific exchanges began to flow. Technological barriers that had existed for centuries started to dissolve. Humans became a bridge between different technological civilizations, not through force, but through genuine collaborative spirit. The Galactic Confederation realized they hadn't just encountered a new species. They had discovered a fundamentally different approach to existence, one that valued understanding over conquest, collaboration over competition. As the starship moved deeper into unexplored cosmic regions, it carried with it a message more powerful than any weapon. Knowledge, when shared, could transform entire civilizations. The universe watched, and for the first time, different species began to see themselves not as potential competitors, but as parts of a larger, interconnected system of discovery and growth. The universe watched, and for the first time in millennia, the Galactic Confederation felt something they had rarely experienced: genuine, profound uncertainty.